The Aboriginal Power Cup is an early intervention strategy that uses football as a tool to engage young Indigenous students in their secondary education and to provide a pathway to workforce participation. This intervention is aimed at both male and female students and offers a dynamic curriculum that culminates in the annual Aboriginal Power Cup Carnival. The Aboriginal Cup is aligned with SACE, thus participating students will receive credit towards their Stage 1 or 2 unit of integrated learning and build towards their South Australian Certificate of Education. According to SACE, integrated learning subjects are critical to student development as they draw links between aspects of students' life and their learning through application of knowledge in real-world tasks or events. In the past 8 years, the Aboriginal Power Cup has received positive feedback with significant improvements in school performance and retention rates for students that participate. The Aboriginal Power Cup has 3 streams that all students must participate in, which collectively determine a team's total score. This total score is used to identify the finalists for the Aboriginal Power Cup and which teams will play the curtain raiser at Adelaide Oval before the Port Adelaide and West Coast Eagles game. The 3 streams are identified as football, empowerment and education. In this year's event, I had the opportunity to coach both the male and females football team for Murray Bridge. Therefore, a lot of this information will be specific or relevant to their school. The football stream requires schools to construct a 9-a-side team of female or male Indigenous students that will play an annual carnival at Alberton Oval. As the teams only consist of 9 players, the game of Australian rules football is modified. The key rule changes mean the game is played in 10-minute halves. The playing area is decreased to 120 metres by 60 metres, and only 3 players identified by armbands are allowed to kick goals at any one time. The modification of rules encourages constant teamwork, communication and engagement throughout the entirety of the match in order to achieve success. At the conclusion of the 2-day carnival, a final ladder will be created to appropriately allocate points towards the Aboriginal Power Cup tally. The education stream encourages students to begin thinking about life after graduation. This stream has 2 separate components. The first component encourages students to maintain a high level of attendance in secondary education and attend classes in the first semester that will prepare them for life once they leave high school, such as resume building and healthy living sessions. The second requires students to complete a checklist of workshops or information booths over the 2-day culminating event. The intention of these workshops is to provide students with information on potential career options or further education after graduation. It is through maintaining a high level of attendance and completing these workshops that students will receive points towards their tally. The empowerment stream is the most important. The Power Cup helps participating students connect with their Aboriginal culture, community and environment. It educates students on how cultures shape identity, especially in the transition from adolescence to adulthood and from school into further education or employment. In the lead up to the culminating event, students must design their school canvas. In this canvas, students will identify aspects of life that link to their culture and identity. At the end of the culminating event, each canvas will be graded and allocated points towards the Power Cup tally, and a prize will be given separately to the school with the best canvas. These canvases will be displayed in the school designated seating area at Alberton Oval throughout the entirety of the 2-day event. Students also need to design a Guernsey that their school will wear throughout the culminating event. This process begins by students creating a design at the beginning of the year that will be recreated digitally and submitted to Port Adelaide Football Club. Once approved, it will be created by ISC Apparel. This is an avenue for students to express their connectedness to their home country, culture and community. As you can see, there is an enormous variety and complexity exhibited throughout the designs, and each has a story that resonates with the students of the school. Jacob created the Guernsey for Murray Bridge and states that the faded colour in the background represents the Murray Lands waterway and the way it changes colour throughout the year. The symbol on the front is a swan and is the Ngarrindjeri totem that belongs to the traditional Aboriginal people of the Lower Murray River. The red, black and yellow colours on the top replicate the appearance of the Aboriginal flag, while the dots on the back represent the 18 tribes of the Ngarrindjeri Nation. In addition to the canvas and Guernsey, each school must design a war cry, resonating with their school and community, that can be performed on Adelaide Oval. Murray Bridge constructed this war cry that was based upon the local community's history and presents the local swan and snake of the Riverland. Together, the Canvas, Guernsey and War Cry contributed towards the empowerment score that would later be added to the school's tally. As the total score of the Aboriginal Power Cup was a collective contribution of all three streams, students were constantly striving for academic, cultural and sporting success. Points were awarded for sportsmanship and positive attitudes throughout the event. This is an effective strategy for managing a learning environment. The scores remained anonymous throughout the culminating event and were later released the morning of the West Coast vs Port Adelaide match at the University of South Australia City West campus. Irrespective of the competitive nature of the Power Cup, this culminating event provides many more opportunities to the Indigenous students of the participating schools. Students are given the opportunity to meet their idols at the Port Adelaide Football Club and can participate in a variety of telecasting interviews for programs such as Totally Wild or the local news. They are given the opportunity to be in the Mac Drive Safely advertisements and the opportunity to learn about the world of media.
If you don't wear a seatbelt, you are 10 times more likely to be killed in a crash.
You lace your boots up before your game, so put your belt on before you drive.
Importantly, the students are asked to represent their Indigenous culture by practicing and performing a cultural display on Adelaide Oval in front of thousands of people. The Aboriginal Power Cup is more than a football event, but a collaboration of work from multiple parties to provide opportunities for young Indigenous in the present and future. As a member of the coaching team for Murray Bridge, I was able to observe and experience firsthand the pedagogical strategies that were effectively used in this learning environment. It was clear mutual respect and establishment of authentic relationships were the foundation of success. It is through respect that participants constantly endeavoured to confront any challenges and consistently strive to reach goals, irrespective of the outcome. It was identified early that failure was a learning experience on the road to success and that each member of the group would be there for support when required. It was this mentality and respect that everyone had for each other that meant all participants were motivated to achieve their best and avoided disappointing others. The coaching staff provided consistent positive reinforcement and honest constructive feedback throughout the culminating event. It was clear students responded poorly to sugarcoating a negative performance. There was a significant variation in on and off-field capabilities, but coaching staff ensured that these complemented each other in a manner that achieved overall success. The male captain of the football team was a brilliant football player, currently enrolled in the Port Adelaide Academy, while the vice-captain had barely played the game but was a strong communicator and leader for other tasks. It was through recognising and celebrating these differences within the team that everyone felt they belonged and an encouraging positive learning environment was established. This experience has supported the philosophy that individuals perform based upon the learning environment they are exposed to. If an environment encourages students to celebrate their heritage, beliefs and personality through performance, then they will achieve greater success than if students are restricted and are required to conform to social norms. It is through encouraging mistakes, celebrating success, and recognising differences that students flourish. It was a fantastic experience to explore the cultural identity of Indigenous students around South Australia and participate in the success of this event as students confronted the varying challenges set up by the Aboriginal Power Cup and gain an insight into pathways after secondary education.